All right, we got the bodies. Let's go.
Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Package secured. Move it out.
So now the work begins. We won, but now the work begins. We have to bring them home. And, you know, tonight I'm going to be signing on the J6 hostages, pardons, to get them out. And as soon as I leave, I'm going to the Oval Office and we'll be signing pardons for a lot of people, And thank you to Steve Witkoff. He's a great guy. He's a friend of mine. He's been a very successful man. He's a great negotiator.
Like who? I don't know.
Wonderful guy. People love him. And he's got a tremendous power of persuasion. And that's what we need. We don't need stiffs. We don't need stiffs. We got a lot of stiffs. You just had...
Biden literally used his last day to pardon his entire family. Dr. Fauci and a whole bunch of other people.
With us today, welcome. And welcome home. Some of the folks are former hostages. Not a good situation. The 3 young ladies that came home yesterday, you saw that. More coming home every day now. They're coming home. But they were hurt. They were hurt. One had her head blown off, fingers on her hand, and her hand indeed was blown off. She was trying to defend herself from a bullet being fired. You believe this? A bullet knocked off her hand. I don't know. You look at it, it's a disgrace. We never stopped praying for you, and we're so glad that you're reunited with your friends and families, and God bless you all. And some of them are just saying, no, my son is gone. But please just bring home his body, right, Steve? Many of you have told me that your son is gone, but bring home his body. It should have never happened. 3 years, it's ridiculous. Should have never happened. Wouldn't have happened. I also want to express my tremendous gratitude to the hundreds of thousands of proud American patriots who came from all across the country to join us in this celebration. It's a celebration of a big win. And you're witnessing the dawn of the golden age of America. That's what it's going to be.
The golden age of America.
We're going to bring it back fast.
Let's go. That guy's not excited for the golden age.
Let us also thank the incredible service members, National Guardsmen, police, Secret Service, and law enforcement personnel who are keeping us all safe. Even though they are great people. New York's finest. I grew up with New York's finest, and we got to give them their authority back. You won't have any crime. There'll be no crime. You give them little authority back.
He's wearing a Christmas sweater.
The way they run things in this country now, it's disgraceful. But it's going to change rapidly. We're going to make our cities safe again, too. Even though we're indoors, we've had a magnificent
Grandpa's probably confused.
Parade.
It's cold as fuck, they say over there.
They were great. To all the incredible performers and hardworking men and women who made it possible. Those people, really talented, amazing people. I also want to thank my wonderful family for being here, especially my beautiful wife, our First Lady, Melania.
AKA Carmen Sandiego. You can't even see her eyeballs. She needed to lose the hat for this, in my opinion.
I love our First Lady. And also, JD. How good is JD been?
Nope.
And his beautiful wife, Usha.
He said nope.
How good is JB? JD has been great. He's another good negotiator, Steve. He's a great negotiator, too. We need negotiators in this country. But so many of the people on the stage behind, not only family members, as an example, Lara Trump, the wife of Eric. She was the head of the Republican Party, along with my friend Michael. Stand up, the two of you. What a job. What a job they did. They worked so hard. They knew there'd be rigging, but they said, we're going to make it too big to rig, and we did. We made it
Too big to rig.
We
Oh,
won
God.
every swing state by a lot.
I
We
remember
won the popular
that.
vote by millions and millions of votes. We won the whole ball of wax. And now we're going to go and drill, baby, drill, and do all the things that we've wanted to do and bring your costs down, your prices down, and make our country safe. So thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very much. What a job you've done, Michael. I'm never moving you, you know. He was thinking about getting a nice job in the administration. I said, no, I'm leaving you right where you are.
Drill, baby, drill.
We're not moving you, Michael. I'm sorry.
Too big
Anyway,
to
thank you very
rig.
much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much.
Oh, my goodness.
Right here with us also in the arena, I'm about to sign some very important executive orders.
Oh, you gonna do it?
Administration.
He's gonna do it.
Hey, Don, will you stand up, please? Don is another one. How about Don? This guy. He's a popular one. He goes out and speaks. He gets a big crowd. He's a little on the rough side sometimes, but that's what you want. He's done a fantastic job, and he loves our country. Thanks, Don. Great job. You've done a great job. And Ivanka.
Oh, she slayed with her outfit, though. That fucking beanie is just floating on her head.
Negotiated the Abraham Accords, which are the biggest. It's the biggest deal made in the Middle East in many, many years, and it's really something. Jared, stand up, Jared. The Abraham Accords. And Tiffany.
Her hair isn't doing too well.
And Michael.
It's okay.
And then I have a very tall son named Barron.
I mean, it's coming loose, yeah. You said I have a very tall son. Damn, man. The hits keep coming. He got the tighter hair. Oh, well, yeah, he's younger. He's definitely got the tighter hair.
Thank you.
Sit. Sit.
He knew the youth vote. You know, we won the youth vote by 36 points. And he was saying, Dad, you got to go out and do this one and that one. And we did a lot of them. And he respects them all. He understood them very well. And he said, Dad, you got to go out, do Joe Rogan, do all these guys. And we did.
Theo Von and all that.
We did, and Joe Rogan was great. They were all great, right, Baron? They were all good. He understood the market. Another famous one, how about Kai? Stand up, Kai.
Does he have a turtleneck? I don't know. From being on the computer for so long. Oh, man.
Is that Byron Donalds back there? Stand up, Byron. Stand up. What a future this one has.
Yeah, he's pumping this dude up.
Future.
It's like the third time I see that guy.
That's great, Byron. Thank you very much. And how about Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce? He's going to take in more money than any country has ever even thought about.
Oh, yeah, money.
Take in some money.
Money.
And we have many others. Look, I'm not going to go through it, but we're going to sign some orders right now, and that's really what I want to do. So we're going to sign executive orders. First, I'll revoke nearly 80 destructive and radical executive actions of the previous administration, one of the worst administrations in history. Maybe not one of them, the worst. Anybody that would allow millions of people to pour through our borders from jails, prisons, mental institutions, insane asylums.
He's still going.
Gang members to be taken off the streets of Venezuela and deposited in our country, and many, not just Venezuela. You know, crime in Venezuela is down 74% because they took their criminals and gave them to us through an open border policy of the previous administration.
Ooh.
All over the world, they're emptying their prisons into our country. They're emptying their mental institutions into our country.
That's the thing.
It stops as of 1 o'clock this afternoon. Okay, it stops. So I'm revoking nearly 80 destructive, radical executive actions of the previous administration. They'll all be null and void within about.
So this is like 5 hours even so far? No, it's longer. You gotta remember, my stream's been up for 6, and I was late.
I will implement.
I was like 30 minutes late, an hour late.
Stop Biden bureaucrats from continuing to regulate. Most of those bureaucrats.
My stream's been up for 6 hours and 8 minutes. I was the first one here. Yup, my lady was like, ring ding dong, Gaignuns. Are you just gonna fucking show this thing, or are you gonna pop up? And I'm like, hi, I'm here. I'm just settling things. That button.
Only hiring competent people who are faithful to the American public. And we will pause the hiring of any new IRS agents. We will also require that federal workers must return to the office in person.
Ooh. Oh, they're not going to like that.
88,000 people that they hired to go after you with guns. By the way, they're allowed to use guns and harass you like they were so many other people. Remember this. Okay, remember? Do you remember a little statement about tips? Does anybody remember that little statement? I think we won Nevada because of that statement. But they went out and harassed you over the tips. In other words, we are restoring control of our government to the people.
Is he going to pass the no taxes on tips thing?
Let's see if they'd like to work on the border, because that's what we want them really. So we're going to have no tax on tips, right? No tax on tips.
Oh, shit! He's just started that.
Like the Speaker of the House. Is he here? He's done such a good job. Is Mike here? He's around here someplace. I saw him just a little while ago. Hello, fellas. Look at you guys. Yeah, I know it. He's great. He's doing great. They're all doing good. The Republican Party has never been unified like it is right now. They want to save our country. And we're going to more than save it. We're going to make it greater than it's ever been before by a lot. Next, I'm going to sign a presidential memorandum directing every member of my cabinet to marshal every power at their disposal to defeat inflation and rapidly bring down the cost of daily life, because your costs have gone through the roof in the last 4 years. Perhaps you didn't notice. Does anyone notice their costs are like double, triple, quadruple?
Good Lord.
Bacon. Apples have doubled in price. You want an apple, anybody? Pay twice what you did 2 years ago. We'll put more money in your pocket, and we'll bring back the American dream and to reduce energy costs and liberate our economy.
Gonna drill, baby, drill.
Gas than any country in the world, and we're going to use it. We're not going to do the wind thing. Big ugly windmills, they ruin your neighborhood, they ruin your...
Is he going to say they kill the birds?
Near a windmill, guess what? Your house is worth less than half. And did you see up in New England with the whales? You see what's happening?
With
so
the
they
whales?
had 2 whales killed in about 14 years. Last year and the year before, total, they had 28. So if you're into whales, you don't want windmills either.
Wow, what
the most
fuck?
expensive form of
what do windmills have to do
that you can have by far.
with whales?
And they're all made in China, by the way, practically all of them.
What?
And they kill your birds and they ruin your beautiful
He said the birds. He said the birds.
But other than that, I think they're quite good, right?
Oh my god.
Now, remember when we used to joke and kid when we were kidding, but we don't kid anymore?
Huh?
They want to watch the debates on television. They want to watch your favorite president on television. But the wind isn't blowing, so we can't watch television that night, Gladys. Remember? Gladys, I'm sorry, the wind is just not blowing. We're not watching Trump tonight. But I'm immediately withdrawing from the unfair, one-sided Paris Climate Accord ripoff.
We're jumping out of the Paris Accords.
The United States will not sabotage our own industries while China pollutes with impunity. You know, China, I mean, look, they use a lot of dirty energy, but they produce a lot of energy.
They do.
And when that stuff goes up in the air, you know, it doesn't stay there. It's not like you got a wall. We love walls, don't we? Not like you have a wall around and it doesn't. It floats into the United States of America after 3.5 to 5.5 days. It floats across the oceans.
Get down?
And it comes right over your neighborhood and it falls into your neighborhood. So they all say, we have to fight for cleaner air, but the other dirty air is dropping all over us. So what the hell are they talking about? Unless everybody does it. It just doesn't work. You know, we had the cleanest air and the cleanest water that this country's ever had under the Trump administration. And we didn't do anything to stop jobs and stop production. Believe me, you're going to see a lot of companies come pouring back because tariffs. I always say tariffs is the most beautiful word to me in the dictionary. Then I was reprimanded by the fake news. They said, what about love, religion, and God? I said, I agree. Let's put God number one. Let's put religion number two. Love, I don't know. We got to put that number 3, I guess, right? And then it's tariff. Because tariffs are going to make us rich as hell. It's going to bring our country's businesses back that left us. And I'll also sign an executive order to immediately end federal government censorship of the American people. In America, we believe in free speech. And we're bringing it back starting today.
Yeah,
to stop the weaponization. No, don't know about that, these creeps. Deranged Jack Smith. You ever hear of him? Deranged. He's a deranged prosecutor. He's sick. They suck him on me. He's now been reduced to getting on an airplane, going back to The Hague or wherever the hell he came from. We got to get rid of that guy. Hey, was he one of the many people that got a pardon today? Did they pardon Jack Smith? You know, did you know that Biden, while I was making my speech, pardoned his whole family?
Yes. Yeah, that was one.
The brother, the whole deal was pardoned. Can you imagine that?
Which also means you can't prosecute him for the same crimes.
Did everybody hear my speech? Did you like my speech? Thank you. I mean, the only thing wrong with it is I had a lot of tough things to say, and I have some great people that work for me. Sir, this is such a great speech. It's so unifying. Don't talk about Biden with his pardons of his family.
He was going to say it.
A unified country. They said, don't talk about the J6 hostages that you're going to be releasing today. Sir, don't put that in your speech, please.
Oh, my God.
I said, but I want to put it in my speech. I said, sir, it won't be unified like it is. It's so beautiful the way it is. And it is getting great reviews. You know, if I put things like that in, I'll get terrible reviews. One little paragraph that's a little bit wrong, the fake news goes crazy, right? So I said, all right, I won't put it in my speech, but you know what? I'm speaking in front of a hell of a lot of people at a place called Capital One
the best reviews.
And I'll talk about it.
Oh, my God.
So we're going to be going over the beautiful Oval Office, one of the great offices in history. Even if it wasn't beautiful, it's the Oval Office, but it is beautiful. And we love the Oval Office. It all starts with the wars start and end there. Everything starts and ends at the Oval Office. We love it. But we're going to go to the Oval Office. We're going to decide we're going to release our great hostages that didn't do, for the most part, they didn't do stuff wrong. You take a look at what went on. And look what happens in other parts of the country. In Portland, where they kill people, they destroy the city. Nothing happens to them. In Seattle, where they took over a big chunk of the city, nothing happened. Minneapolis, where they burned down the city, nothing happened. Essentially, nothing happened. All they want to do is go after the J6 hostages. A 76-year-old grandmother was arrested the other day because she was looking, I think because she was looking at the Capitol or something like that.
Because she was looking at the Capitol.
We're not going to put up with that crap anymore.
No shot, bro. Free grabs. Yeah, free grabs, bro.
And to stop the weaponization of law enforcement.
Let her go.
I've been investigated more than any human being in the world. I believe I have the all-time record. Every day a subpoena.
Yeah.
Every single day would get subpoenas. I was more than any person. Alphonse Capone, remember I used to talk about it? Now, Alphonse Capone, Scarface, he was a pretty rough guy. He was investigated about 1/100th what Trump was investigated. My father's looking down at me, my mother, how the hell did this happen? You know what it is? They investigated their political opponent, the opponent of Biden, and then ultimately Kamala. Has anyone ever heard of Kamala?
I can't. He's just going in right now.
We had to beat two opponents. You know, we had to beat Biden, then we beat him. Now he goes on top. The guy was like 39 points down. I think I could have beaten Trump.
They
should have left me in. I would have beaten. Now his debate performance wasn't the best, right? That's what killed him. And then they had to change, and they.
This is our
president. Like you get into a fight. The great Dana White spoke last night. We love Dana White, right? UFC.
Not like this.
That's like he puts in two fighters. One of them's getting creamed, getting really beaten, and they say, "All right, take him out. Let's put somebody else in to finish up the fight." That's what they did to us. They gave us somebody new, but we took care of both of them. So we beat actually two. We beat actually two opponents.
Three opponents if you count the rigged election.
Law enforcement and our government.
Three if you count the rigged election.
Directing every federal agency to preserve all records pertaining to political persecutions under the last administration, of which there were many, and beginning the process of exposing any and all abuses of power, even though he's pardoned many of these people. Can you believe it? He's pardoned them.
That's crazy.
You know why he did it while I was speaking? Because that way I couldn't speak about it. I was speaking. I didn't know he did it. I finished my speech, and they said, "Sir, he pardoned his whole family." I said, "Oh, can I go back out there and talk about it?"
He said, hold on, now that I got some tea, let's go.
Would say, "Please don't do that.
Let's go tell everybody about this."
We have plenty of time to talk about it, and we will.
And we will.
We're doing all of this on our very first day in office. You know, don't forget, we've been...
He said he pardoned his family. I've never shut up about this.
The primaries in record time. We were the fastest win of a primary ever in political history, which is a very nice thing. It's nice to know.
Matt off moment right here.
The second election was rigged, so we knew we were doing well. And if it wasn't, you know what? If it wasn't, I would have never run. But this third one was just a monster. Boy, was that a big one, huh? That was a big one.
I cannot.
On the second one, we got like 10 or 12 million votes more than the first one. How about that? We did great on the first one. We did much better on the second one. But bad did we do well on the third one. So we're gonna have some fun.
That's nuts.
It's very simple. We're gonna make our country great. We're gonna make our country great again. We're gonna make America great again. How good a name is MAGA, though, right? You know.
Bro's glazing himself.
Say, keep America great, but unfortunately, it wasn't great. Can't say keep it great. It will be great again. But CAG. Keep America great. CAG. I don't think it's ever going to replace MAGA. Does anybody like CAG? I don't think so. It's never replacing MAGA. Nothing will ever replace MAGA. MAGA was the most successful political
Just put
operation,
the fries
political movement
in the bag, little
in the
bro.
history of our country, maybe in the
Just
history of the
start
world.
signing
Let's see what happens.
the executive
because we're
order.
not finished yet. We're not finished yet. We got a long way to go.
The crazy part is he's reading this.
But we're doing this on the very first day in office, and in just a few moments, I'm not only signing the release of
like he's written this
I'm
down.
signing other things that you're gonna love. Oh, you're gonna be happy reading newspapers tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. So I just want to thank. I mean, look at this place; it's full to the rafters. You don't have any. Look at those people up there. You don't have any empty seats. And by the way, the Capital One owners, they are so good. We got to root for their teams because they have been so great to MAGA, to us. And I just want to thank Ted and everybody. You guys have been fantastic. And the ice hockey team's doing great. Ovechkin's pretty good, right? They're doing great. So I want to thank them. Capital One arena owners, they have been absolutely fantastic. And thank you once again to everyone. And I can only tell you, you're going to be very happy. You're going to watch a lot of good things happen. We got to stop some wars that are happening and going on. Some stupid things are happening. The war with Ukraine would have never happened, and it has. As you know, Israel would have never been hit on October 7th, and none of you would be up here. None of you would even know anything about this tragedy that you're going through right now. But Iran was broke. Anybody that bought oil from Iran, they couldn't do any business with us. You're not going to do business with
All hail the felon in chief.
Have money for Hezbollah. And your sons would be alive, and they certainly wouldn't be incarcerated like they are. It's a shame, but we're getting a lot of people out in a short period of time. So I'm going to go right over to here, and I'm going to sign in front of you. Is that okay? Good.
Here we go. Let's get this shit signed. Ooh.
You have that other one to sign?
Sorry, what's it?
You have the other one to sign?
We don't have it over here yet, sir. We'll have it for you back here. The first is the rescissions of 78 Biden-era EOs and presidential memoranda.
You want to call it out? Do you want to say it? You want to say it?
Oh, if you want me to, sir.
Why don't you say what I'm signing?
Sure. The first item that President Trump is signing is the rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions, executive orders, presidential memoranda, and others.
He just lifted him like that. Damn. All Biden's work right there.
Thank you. The second item, President Trump, is a regulatory freeze, as you announced in your speech, preventing bureaucrats from issuing any more regulations until we have full control of this, the government and this administration.
Oh, damn. Oh, so they're stopping people from trying to make moves right now. They're like, time out. That's smart. That's smart. Who thought of that one? Somebody's trying to predict some shit.
Thank you, sir. Sir, can I have a pen? The next item, sir, is a freeze on all federal hiring, excepting the military and a number of other excluded categories, again, until full control of the government is achieved and we understand the objectives of government going forward.
Could you imagine Biden doing this? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Sir, the next item, as you announced
what was that
in
one?
your
We'll
speech,
go back
is a requirement that federal workers return to full-time in-person work.
Service, yeah. Let me go back to the other one real quick.
That, sir, achieved, and we understand. Freeze on all federal hiring, excepting the military and a number of other excluded categories, again, until full control of the...
Yeah, they're not hiring anybody until they have full control. So no more federal hires.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have a directive to every department and agency in the federal government to address the cost of living crisis that has cost Americans so dearly.
That's kind of bullshit. Out. Address how? Yeah, I don't know. Everybody, get to work on this housing shit. Let's fix it up.
Next item here is the withdrawal from the Paris Climate
Address by
Treaty.
tossing more money, of course. Oh, here's the withdrawal from the Paris Accords.
Yes, sir.
People are losing it.
We're going to save over $1 trillion by withdrawing from that treaty.
You hear me? He said, say we're saving $1 trillion.
And the next item, sir, is a letter that will be transmitted to the United Nations explaining that we are withdrawing from the Paris Climate Treaty.
Damn. I wonder what the rest of the world's reaction, if any, is to this. You know? Retaliation efforts, anything like that.
Thank you, sir. This next item is a directive to the federal government.
Save $1 billion by withdrawing.
Freedom
Sounds a lot
of
like
speech and preventing government censorship of free speech going forward.
No more government censorship of free speech?
And lastly, sir, before we go back to the Oval Office to sign a large number of other items, is a directive to the federal government ending the weaponization of government against the political adversaries of the previous administration, as we've seen.
So he can't go after Biden if he signs this, right? Yeah, illegally, technically.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
I'm sure the laws will be shoddily written. Well, of course. Oh, he's throwing a president pens! Oh! Ain't no president been giving out pens before! Look at it! Somebody's gonna bleed from one of the headshot throws. And they're gonna sue Trump for trauma. Oh my god. Holy shit. Presidential immunity. Can you sue America? Can you sue America? POV, the time Donald Trump threw a pandemic. Sovereign immunity too? Damn! Can he sue the Capital One Arena for allowing this to happen? It's America, you gotta be able to sue somebody. You know. It's the American way. That's crazy. That's wild.
You're just seeing them wrap this up as trying
God bless
Trump
America.
signs that flurry of executive orders
We are
after
so
this
fucked.
inaugural parade in Capitol One.
You really
arena
get two
there in
ends of the
heart
spectrum,
Washington,
man.
D.C., and I believe that's the last time we'll really hear
Trump throwing the
Trump
pens
speak,
with
but he's gonna
simply
go back
him
to the Oval
conducting his
Office. Plenty of
presidential
work still to
duties.
do.
You
As
cannot sue the
mentioned,
president for
there's those
doing his
more
job.
executive orders, but
But
also
can you
potentially
sue
pardoning some
the
January
proprietor
6th
of a
defendants? We'll
place,
see if
like a
that comes
restaurant,
down
if you
tonight.
slip
We'll
and
keep an
fall,
eye on it, but you can see plenty of people
for getting
leaving
hurt?
the stage. A busy
So can you
day
sue
on
the Capital One
inauguration,
arena
a Monday
for
here that we're
allowing you to
following
get
the
hurt
lineup
there?
in box for the
You didn't
second
sign
term
no waiver.
of Donald Trump. So a new look inside of that, not really done.
This is America.
previously
You got to
in
be
the
able to
past
sue
with,
somebody.
just some of these inaugurations.
Oh, we're back. Is he back?
Expecting it.
He's back.
Approximately 1,500 people. Six commutations.
Were there any cases you did not commute or pardon, but people?
We're looking at different things,
What?
but the commutations would be the ones that we'll take a look and maybe.
Otherwise, you miss out on the evening viewers because they would choose to watch between 6 and
And
7.
the order does require the Bureau of Prisons to act immediately on receipt.
So you go
of the
late, normally
pardons and
hitting your different
commutation
time
orders.
zones like foreign
Sir,
countries.
this is an
Why don't we get that down?
That's
so
also
they
my
can
concern.
Get them going right now.
Yes,
Believe
sir.
it or not,
Yep,
my biggest
absolutely. This is a proclamation
audience
guaranteeing
for
the
the
state's
most
protection
part
against
has actually
invasion
been
based
Europe.
on the current crisis at the southern border.
Yeah.
It invokes various executive powers relating to the ongoing
Netherlands,
invasion of the southern
UK,
border.
things like that. Because I can see where everybody's from. You know. Yeah, because you're so consistently active in dark
Mr.
houses.
President, what
Through
makes you think
degen
that,
time.
that those are not going to be blocked by the courts?
I don't think they will. I don't
True
think they can
degen
be.
time.
They're very straight up. Why don't you take that and go over here? Can you get him over here, not on the side angle? Do you mind? Just go right over here with your friends.
With your friends.
Sir, this is an executive order realigning the United States refugee admission program to better align with American principles and American interests.
What? We back. Yep, refugees banned. Yep, ban the refugees.
Okay?
God, that sounds so vague.
Sir?
It sounds
This
very
next executive
vague.
order is about protecting America from foreign terrorists and other national security and public safety threats.
Did you see
Again,
the Hamas
crisis of the border,
hostages
but it goes
were
beyond
giving
that
gift
and
bags when
implicates other executive
released?
powers as well.
Yeah?
What? Were they? I did not see that. What did they give them?
President Trump, if cartels are now going to be seen as foreign terror organizations, would you think about ordering U.S. Special Forces into Mexico to take them out?
Could happen. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, he's declared cartels
That was
are
actually
terror organizations.
Say it?
How will you make sure that Maduro will accept Venezuela?
Well, we're going to see in Venezuela. We're looking at Venezuela very strongly. It's a country I know very well for a lot of reasons, and it's well, it was a great country.
With a
20
picture of them in
years ago, and now it's a
captivity,
mess.
a pic with a flag and some other goodies like food.
Starting tomorrow in major cities.
What does that mean?
Can we expect ICE raids in major cities?
I don't want to say when, but it's going to happen.
He said
It
Friday.
has to happen.
He
Or
said
we're not gonna
Friday.
have a country left.
He's a
This is
right.
actually an executive order
Run,
designating
everybody, run.
cartels and other organizations to be foreign terrorist organizations.
Yeah,
That's a big one.
his chief
Yes, sir.
said operations
People
begin on
have wanted to
Friday.
do this for years.
It's crazy.
So they are now designated as terrorist organizations, foreign. And
The cartels are officially
Mexico probably
terrorists.
doesn't want that, but we have to do.
Did
what's
Trump
right.
coin collapse or blow
They're
up?
killing
It
our people.
collapsed.
They're killing.
The government dudes don't know what crypto is, so they kept rugging it.
Not 100.
Yeah, they kept
has been
rugging it because
reported
they
for
thought it's like
15
stocks.
years. It's probably
So they rugged their own
300,000.
people.
This
I
is
don't know
an
about
executive-
Trump rugging it, but people who invested in it rugged the shit out of it.
I don't know, you'll have to ask.
I think we're like at $40
Sir, this is
right
an
now.
executive order entitled Protecting the American People Against Invasion, which
It
again
was like
deals
at a
with the southern
75.
border and the unprecedented admission of illegal aliens across the southern border.
What do you see the biggest national security threat to the U.S., Mr. President? What's going to be your priority on foreign policy?
Say,
What's going to be your priority on foreign policy? What do you see as the biggest
well,
national
foreign
security
policy is a
threat?
big statement. I mean, my priority on foreign policy is going to be to keep America safe. Very
Keep
simple.
America safe.
It's a big question, though. That's a very big
Who
question.
is going to be the first foreign leader that you plan to meet, or who you
My
will call
dumbass
tomorrow
neighbor
on your
put-
first day
I've
tomorrow?
already been meeting people. I've been
No.
meeting them. I've been talking to them.
Into Trump coin, I
He's,
told him to sell
I,
yesterday. Let's
I
see if
met
he
with
did or not.
Prime Minister Trudeau, who I call Governor Trudeau.
Oh
I
no!
met with
There was a
numerous
point
foreign leaders.
yesterday where you could have gone in.
Might be the first.
It was
This next
it
order
dipped
relates to the
below
definition
40,
of birthright
and if you
citizenship
bought
under
at
the
40,
14th
you could have
Amendment of the
sold
United
that.
States.
I was like
That's a good one.
close to
Birthright.
60,
That's a
and then
big
it
one.
plummeted again though,
What about that one?
because people probably did what I
That
said.
Could be.
100% chance he didn't.
You think we have good grounds, but you could be right. I mean,
Oh, no.
You'll find out.
Oh,
It's ridiculous.
no.
We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, as you know.
No, you're
And
not.
it's just absolutely
Japan does
ridiculous.
that.
But, we'll see. We have very good grounds.
Sir, this,
People have wanted to do this for decades.
sir, this is a proclamation declaring a national emergency at the southern border of the United States.
Why did he do it?
That's a big one. A lot of big ones, huh? You know what that means, right?
President Trump, did President Biden leave you a letter?
He may have. What?
Usually
Don't believe it
presidents
in it.
leave the next president
I
a
don't
letter.
know. Oh,
What's in there?
thank you, Peter. It could have been years before we found this thing. Wow.
There it is.
Thank you.
Can you read that on the outside?
Maybe we should all read it together.
Let's read it.
Well, maybe I'll read it first and
Yeah,
then we'll make that determination. Peter, thank you very much. I may
Hold
not have
on.
seen this for months.
Well, good thing I'm too stupid to understand Bitcoins.
I left him one in the desk.
Oh, dude's addicted to meme coins and has zero skills or motivation to get a job. Did you see that 12-year-old that rushed
Unification of our
everybody for
country.
60 grand?
I didn't know that he
Tell him he should be that
gave
kid when he
a
grows up.
pardon to his family
Yeah.
because he did it during my speech.
He did.
In the letter.
No, he didn't tell me. No. He did it. They released it during my speech.
Yeah, they did.
During my speech.
While he was talking.
So all I could do was say, "Excuse me, I'd like to come back and speak some more." So no, we were surprised by that. It's
Mr. President, where
it's bad precedent, obviously.
where
He
is
sounds
your
like my
view on
cousin.
Tariffs on Mexico, given these actions.
What's a
being
jab?
signed on the border?
Well, we're thinking in terms of 25% on Mexico and Canada because they're allowing vast
25%
numbers of people.
tariff?
Canada's a very bad abuser also. Vast numbers of people to come in and fentanyl to come in.
When do you think you would enact those?
I think February 1st.
February 1st,
I think we'll do it
25%.
February 1st.
25% on both, sir.
Sir,
How much do they
each.
give you for
this is an
unemployment?
executive order taking
have
a
to
large
have had
number
a
of
job to
executive
get
actions
unemployment.
to secure our southern border.
Okay? Sounds reasonable.
The other thing would be
President
cash
Trump, we
assistance, I
remember,
believe.
4 years ago, Barack Obama had told you that the top threat to the country was going to be North Korea. Did Joe Biden tell you what he thinks the top threat to the country is
No,
right now?
no.
Why not?
I think we have a lot of them.
What do
Right
you
now,
think
we
is the
really,
top
I think we
threat?
have a lot. I think North Korea turned out to be good. I was very friendly with him. He liked me, I liked him. We got along very well. They thought that was a tremendous threat. Now, he is a nuclear power, but we got along. I think he'll be happy to see
Smart.
him coming back.
This dude's smart.
I think
He
has
didn't
tremendous
insult
condo
him.
capabilities.
didn't
He's got a
insult
lot of
him.
shoreline.
Thank you, sir.
Are you going to work
He
with
called
countries from South
Kim
America to
Jong a
coordinate
nuclear
on
power.
immigration
Not like some fucking up and
or
coming
immigration
country.
in general?
This is an executive order. Sorry, sir.
Oh
I'm
boy.
fine with
Formerly
illegal
Mexican
immigration. I like it.
produces will
We need
be
people. And
very
I'm
expensive.
absolutely fine with it. We want to have
Hey.
it. We need it because we're going to have a lot of companies coming in to avoid tariffs. You know, if
I lended my
If you,
parents my
uh,
life savings, and
don't
I
want
live here
tariffs,
for
all you have to
free.
do is
So
build
yeah.
your plant in the U.S. So we're going to have a lot of workers coming in,
What?
but we have to have legal immigration.
Do you
How
have
do
a,
you
do you have a
see-
date in mind for when you want to put it on the China tariff?
What?
Which one?
60%?
No. You're talking about which? Say it again.
The China tariffs, the broad
China?
tariffs.
Well, as you know, I put on.
I'm the
large
emergency
tariffs on
piggy
China,
bank.
and they've really been forced to leave
Jesus,
them.
Panda.
And if we didn't leave them, you wouldn't have one steel mill that's open in this country because they were dumping massive amounts of steel. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars from China because they were unable to terminate the tariffs I put on China because it was too much money and the budgets didn't work and other reasons too. No,
Yeah.
we're going to have meetings and calls.
The
with
budgets
President
didn't
Xi.
work
I spoke
without
to
the
President
tariffs from
Xi
last
last
time.
week, as you know. Did you know that? I had a very good phone call.
Did you start with NATO at this moment? Are you planning to meet your NATO allies?
No, NATO has to pay more money. NATO has to pay 5%. We are, we're
Damn.
into the Ukraine war by $200 billion more than NATO. It's ridiculous because it affects them a lot more. We have an ocean in between. And we've spent $200 billion more on Ukraine than NATO has
The
spent.
hell,
And they've got to
hell to
equalize.
NATO. Tell NATO to give me 1%.
Did you talk to Xi about the Ukraine war?
Yeah.
Because China and Brazil together has a proposal to bring Russia and Ukraine to talk.
That's good. That's fine. I'm ready.
When are you going
That's
to talk
good.
with the Brazilian
How
president?
did Brazil get involved?
How did
This is
Brazil?
a new one.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
When are you going to
What?
talk to Lula?
No,
you from
Brazil's
Brazil?
emerging then.
When are you
Brazil's
going to-
why they're
on a
involved,
second
When are you going to talk with the Brazilian president?
level
How do you
country
see your relationship
trying
with
to emerge as a
Latin
power.
America and Brazil?
Great.
It's just that there's a lot of
They need
corruption.
us
A lot of corruption.
much more than we need them. We don't need them. They need us. Everybody needs us.
This is we will not proceed with additional China.
Easy. We don't need them. They need us.
Go with President Xi, is that correct?
What does that, define that?
Well, we are asking, you pledged in the campaign potentially a 10% tariff on China or as much as.
Because of fentanyl.
Right, so I'm asking where your.
That's only because of fentanyl. There are other things too.
Are additional.
And a
China
very big
tariffs-
thing is the Panama Canal. China controls the Panama Canal. What's that all about?
Brazil got to work on
They're not
themselves
supposed to be
before they
good.
do it.
When Jimmy Carter gave it, which was a terrible
Oh,
mistake,
yeah.
a terrible mistake, he didn't do it. He didn't give it to China. He gave it to Panama. And China controls the Panama Canal.
So are China tariffs
And
still
we're
on
not
the
going to
table?
allow that to happen.
Are they still on the table or is that on?
We're not going to allow that to happen.
Thank you, sir.
What can we expect of the countries in NATO that spend the
Where
least amount of money?
in the world is it not
Spain, France,
corrupted?
below the 5%.
Spain is very low. And yet, aren't
The
they a BRICS
island of
nation?
snakes near
They're a
Madagascar.
BRICS nation, Spain.
How is
You know what
that
a
so?
BRICS nation is?
Yep. I think that's
figure
pretty
it
much
out.
not corrupted.
But, and if the BRICS nations want to do that, that's okay, but we're going to
Yep.
put at least a 100% tariff on.
Somewhere that
the
money
business they
doesn't
do with
touch,
the
somewhere that
United States. You know what
humans
the
don't
BRICS
really
is,
touch.
right? You guys
Not
know.
money.
Brazil,
You know what I'm
Russia.
saying, right? You know
The
what
money
I'm saying.
doesn't just cause
But
corruption.
Spain is not
This is
interested.
a-
Us.
It's not even.
We
a threat.
choose to be
In
corrupted.
fact, since I made that statement,
Not like a
Biden
dollar
said,
bill.
well,
Like,
they have us over a
"Hey,
barrel. I said, no,
go
we have them over
scam
a barrel.
people or steal money.
And
No, it's
there's no way
greed.
they're going to be able to do that.
It's
is a
greed in the
debate
belief
over
that you're
money.
better and
Those
you
countries,
deserve it, you
like
know?
Spain.
Yeah.
As a BRICS nation, yes.
But how
They'll
is
have
it
a
a BRICS
100% tariff if they so much as even think about doing what they thought.
Can you explain how is it?
And therefore they'll give it up immediately. So will China give it up.
Sir, this is about reforming the system of hiring in the federal government to ensure that merit is the lodestar of hiring decisions. as opposed
Oh,
to
they're getting rid of
other matters.
DEI
Yes, sir.
in the federal
This is a big deal.
government.
Merit. Our country's going to be based on merit again.
Guys,
Can you believe it?
what if I wanted to be based on color and genitals?
Where do things stand right now?
Huh?
How do you-
Well, there's only half a day. I have another half a day left. We'll see. We want to get it done.
This is an order creating and implementing.
Hey
Department of
guy,
Governmental
show me your
Efficiency known as
social
DOGE.
security so I can take out a loan. I'll just tell you, it's 888
No,
88888.
He's getting an office for about.
Let me in on
20
some money
people
when you get it.
hiring To make sure that these.
I
are
guess the
implemented.
DEA funding is going to dry up
We
soon, and the
have
companies will follow.
The
They
problem
already
in
did,
this
you
country,
attacker.
signed an executive
They
order that
already
doesn't get
did.
done for
All of them
6
already
months.
turned around 2 weeks
As
ago.
an example, when we allow
Walmart,
the J
Amazon,
6 hostages
Facebook,
to go out.
insert a lot of other companies. The only
It might
one
not be approved in.
that was
under the
holding
old
on
days
to
by
is
for
Costco.
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Costco is holding
6
on to their
months.
DI policy. Everyone
You know,
else,
they had a good ruling from the
is
Supreme
jumping
Court,
off
and
the ship
it's
right
like
now.
nothing happened.
yeah, they've been
That ruling
jumping
was
off the
6
ship
months ago,
before.
You know that.
Now that he's
And
in,
it
they're
was
going to
like
be jumping
they
off the
didn't have
ship
a
even
ruling.
faster.
They've been treated
You missed the
very unfair.
Doge
The judges
signature.
have been absolutely
Department of
brutal. The
Government
prosecutors have
Efficiency?
been brutal. Nobody's ever treated
best
people
one.
in this country like that.
Everything's going back to normal. We're healing, guys. We're healing.
Well, we're looking at 2 police officers, actually, that Washington police officers who went after an illegal, and things happened, and they ended up putting them in jail. They got 5-year jail sentences. You know the case. And we're looking at that in order to give them a, we got to give them a break.
But is there clemency in your actions today for anyone?
Well, it would be a
who
part,
assaulted
that would be a
police
part.
officer?
The one I'm talking about would be a part.
2024 was
Should there
just
be
a failed
punishment for people
experiment.
who assaulted law enforcement officers that day?
The last 4
Well, I will
years
say
have been
this, they've been in
wild.
jail for a long time already. I see murderers in this country get 2 years, 1 year, and maybe no time. So they've already been in jail for a long time.
Yeah,
These
for
people
4
have been
years.
destroyed. What they've done to these people is outrageous.
Yeah, they've been
There's
locked up for
rarely
4
been
years.
anything like it in history.
For
in the history
January
of our
6th.
country. And even people that were aggressive, and in many cases, I believe they happen to be outside agitators, but, you know, what do I know, right? But I think they were outside agitators. There were outside agitators involved.
He's saying the
And
Democrats
obviously
brought
the
people
FBI
in.
was involved
Yeah.
because Ray admitted the FBI was involved. Didn't he say 23 people, indirectly or directly, were involved? And it was then 26? That's a lot of people. Now, we got to take care of, these people have been treated so badly. It's never happened before. What happened in Seattle where they took over a big portion of the city? What happened in Portland where they burn down the city every day?
Every
and people
day.
die? Nothing happened to anybody. But they go after these people violently. I mean, they're still going after brand new people. They found somebody else with a picture. There's never been anything like this. And you know, it's almost 100%. Think of this, almost 100%
Well, it's
of the
crazy.
people are
He
convicted.
just spent his day signing laws
100%.
today, basically.
It's Washington, D.C. People go into a trial and they say, oh, I have a wonderful lawyer and I didn't do anything wrong. And they end up in shackles almost immediately and jail. No, we're not going to let it happen.
About Greenland, we have shown interest in buying it, but is there any other option that would satisfy you?
About what?
Greenland, instead of buying it.
Finland?
Greenland.
Oh, Greenland. Greenland is a wonderful place. We need
Trump
it for
just doing damage
international
control all
security.
day.
And I'm sure that Denmark will come along. I think it's costing them a lot of money to maintain it, to keep it.
We need
The
Greenland,
people of
baby.
Greenland are not happy with Denmark, as you know.
January 6th
I
was the
think they're
day where
happy
his
with us.
supporters stormed the
We had
Capitol. The
representatives,
Proud
my son had
Boys.
representatives went up
Remember
there
the
2 weeks ago,
Fortnite incels,
and they're like
guys.
us. So we'll see what
Yes.
happens. But Greenland is necessary, not for us. It's necessary for international
But they've been in jail
security.
for 4 years, though.
You have Russian boats all over
Since
the place.
Biden
You have China boats all over the place, warships.
Took charge. He's right.
And they can't maintain
A second-degree murder is only 2 to 3 years.
Who?
Do you plan to meet President Putin, sir?
Yeah.
I'll be meeting with President Putin.
When do you think?
I don't know. I can't speak.
Yes.
to
Yeah.
First trip for that might be, sir?
that. So first foreign trip typically has been with UK. But I did it with Saudi Arabia last time because they agreed to buy $450 billion worth of our product. I said, I'll do it,
Wait,
but
no
you have to buy American
charge?
product. And they agreed to do that.
What do you mean?
They bought $450 billion. It was the least reported
Yeah, he's
story I've
pardoning
ever
them, the
been
people on
involved
January
Now,
6th.
where are you planning to go now?
Well, I don't know.
They were
If Saudi
weren't
Arabia
charged
wanted
with
to buy another
insurrection or
450
something.
500,
Yeah.
We'll up it for all the inflation.
Mr. President,
Something like
you say
that.
you're going
I think
to
I
end the
probably got
war's first day. How do you plan to end the Ukraine war?
But actual
We're gonna try and get it done
murderers
as quickly as possible.
Do you want to push Israel
Don't-
and Saudi
It should have
Arabia?
never started.
Do that much
The
time.
war with Ukraine and Russia should have never started. It would have never started.
Under
with our
RICO?
president.
Will you push Israel and Saudi Arabia to normalize relations?
They used the RICO
I
Act
don't think I
on
have to
him.
push him. I think it's going to happen, but
Oh,
maybe
my
not quite
God.
yet. But it'll
Come on,
end up
Rico.
being in the Accords, the Abraham Accords.
President Trump,
I think Saudi Arabia will end up being,
RICO,
In the
like the
Abraham
rice?
This year?
could be, but
Rico
so
rice?
Not in a very long way. Ooh,
Or are you
look at
saying
that. It says
Rico as in
TikTok.
Espanol?
My,
Rico
what
is
that all
delicious in
First, we have
Espanol.
Alaska, sir. This is an executive order
Sugoi!
relating to unleashing Alaska's
Oh, no,
potential
Aoshi.
as an
No, that's
energy reservoir
delicious.
for the entire nation.
It's
about?
kind of
And what
like
about
Oshi.
Anwar?
I believe that would be included in
Sugoi is
aspects of
good,
the
right?
We're opening up Anwar.
I forget.
on the TikTok piece, President
think
Trump,
Aoshi
you and
is-
your
is
members
yummy
of
or
your team
delicious.
Now used to warn
And
about
Rico
dangerous
is
TikTok spying
good,
on
yummy.
Americans. What changed that you're not worried about that anymore?
Well, it depends on the deal. I mean, I may not do the deal or I may do the deal. TikTok is worthless. Worthless if I don't approve it. It has to close. I learned that from the people that own it.
Yep.
If I don't do the
Aoshi?
deal, it's worthless.
Is it
Worth nothing.
Aoshi?
If I do the deal, it's worth maybe $1 trillion.
The Racketeer Influence
So if
and
I do the
Corrupt
deal for the-
Organization
I'm
Act?
talking about doing
That's
it for
the
the United States. If I do the
1970s.
deal for the United States,
Yep.
then I think we should get half.
The TikTok
Yep.
In other words, wait, I think
I've seen the
US should
RICO
be
Act
entitled
more
to
than
get half
once.
of TikTok.
I
And
assume they got
congratulations, TikTok
prosecuted
is a
under
good
RICO
partner.
Act? Maybe. I don't even know,
And
to be honest.
That would be worth, could
You
be
mean
$500
Oishi?
billion or
Oishi?
something. It's crazy. The numbers are crazy.
Oishi.
But it's worthless if the president doesn't
Yeah, the
sign.
Oishi, the delicious, the
worthless.
yummy.
If the president does sign, it's worth
Oishi.
maybe $1 trillion.
Oishi.
So I think,
Oishi. Is
like
it
a joint
Oishi
venture,
or
I think
Oishi?
we would have a joint
It's
venture with
Oishi, huh?
the people from TikTok. We'll see what happens. I mean,
Oishi.
that's one of many ideas I've had.
The CEO is now.
Oi!
Did he say that he's open to that idea?
Who?
The CEO
Oi,
of
oi,
TikTok
oi,
is
oi,
around.
oi.
Oh, I think he'd probably like it. Because he's got nothing.
Holy shit!
I mean, they really have nothing. It's passed in Congress. It gives the president a right to make a deal or to close
Oh
it.
shit, my wallet.
And we have 90 days to make that decision.
Man, that
But I
food
could
was
see,
oh
making a
shit,
deal
man.
with
My
the
wallet
US
went
gets
oh
50%
shit.
of TikTok. Polices it
Oi,
a little
shit.
bit or a lot. Depends on them.
Oishi.
But remember, they make telephones in China. They make all
Oi,
sorts
oi,
of things
oi.
in China. Nobody ever complains
Oi.
about that. Here they're
Oh,
complaining about
I
this.
shit my pants.
There's so many different
Oh, my
products made
God.
in China, and nobody ever complained about it. The only one they complain about is TikTok. And TikTok is largely young people. I guess I have a warm spot for
That's
TikTok
true.
that I didn't have originally. But, I went on TikTok,
That's so true.
and I won young people up by 30.
Lol, my buddy came back from Italy. He got pickpocketed 3 times.
Do well with young people.
By
But it's a
dudes
different
or
Republican
girls?
Party.
With the U.S.
TikTok executive orders.
I'm always scared of like female pickpocketers.
No, you take 50% of TikTok for the approval that TikTok can continue in business.
What a
and they have a
G.
great partner. The U.S. would be their
What a
partner.
G!
But the U.S.
You want
essentially would be
you want TikTok in
the
America?
value of TikTok.
U.S. gets 50% of TikTok.
Could be, yeah.
You don't want TikTok in
Tell you
America?
what, every rich person
Right.
has called me about TikTok.
Alright.
You wanted to block TikTok. Why did you change your mind?
Girls
Because
mostly.
I got to use it.
Both? Oh
And
my
remember,
god.
TikTok is largely about kids, young kids. If China's going to get information about young kids, I don't know.
Are you
I think,
Chinese?
to be honest with you, I think we have bigger problems than that. But when you take a look at telephones that are made in China and all the other things that are made in China, military equipment made in China, TikTok, I think TikTok is not their biggest problem. But there's big value in TikTok if it gets approved. If it doesn't get approved, there's no value. So if we create that value, why aren't we entitled to like half?
Sir, if you don't come in 90 days, we should.
You said you want to keep running your
Do
company,
news
give me
conferences
half.
like this? How many news conferences, Peter, has he done like this?
Like this?
None.
0.
I mean, they
And it would be
basically
zero in
said
the next
only Merc is allowed to
Infinity.
exploit a bird.
For
kids.
infinity, it would be 0.
Mr. President, can you please talk President Musk gonna
True
act
businessman.
Executive order
Kids are still being
No,
exploded.
no.
Yeah, but that's up to
Elon,
your
no.
state. In
Elon's very busy
Florida,
sending rocket
they
ships
ban
up to
social
various
media for under
places
16-year-olds.
with lots of satellites.
Contact your
What is your
senator.
reaction to the confirmation of
You
Marco
know.
Rubio, and what does it mean for Latin America?
Which one?
Marco Rubio.
Marco Rubio. You said
I guess I'm not
Marco.
understanding why they're being pardoned.
Yeah, he's.
They're being
I
pardoned
think
because
he's
they've been there
great.
for
I think
4
Marco's
years
doing a
already in
fantastic
prison,
job. I think he's gonna
and he
get a lot
doesn't
of
believe those charges
votes. I think
are
he's going to
hefty
be at
enough
90% or
to
something.
guarantee
I'm
them
hearing
4
quite
years
good
or more in
people know- They
prison.
know him in the Senate. They know
'Cause
he's
they've been
good.
in there 4
Doing a good
years at
job. I
least.
don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know what's going to happen with.
You know, what's gonna happen
He's
more?
got-
I don't know how
he's
many years
some
they got.
Very strong ideas, though, Marco.
I think he's saying that the kids are being exploded in different ways, such as phones.
Yeah,
Yes, that was just.
Marco Rubio's ideas is
just signed it.
How many
still
did you sign?
changing
I just want to
Venezuela,
sign.
changing power. Are you still committed with Maduro leaving power in
Well,
Venezuela?
we're going to find out about that too, because we're going to probably stop buying oil from Venezuela.
I guess
We don't
that's
need their
enough
oil.
time.
Another
I mean,
Marco
4
Rubio
years?
No, could be, but we don't want to buy. We don't have to buy their oil.
I
We
think
have plenty
that's
of oil
enough
for
time,
ourselves,
too.
so
President Trump.
that'll change
I
Venezuela.
think that's like,
quite
yeah,
a
if you
bit.
want an insurrection, you get until the next guy goes in. 4 years. I think that's a good run. Not much difference from American
No.
social media.
No.
Kids are getting screwed either way.
I can't
Oh, well,
imagine
yeah,
even
that's true.
being older. No, I believe in.
But like I
the
said, you
sanctity
want
of
that
the
to
vote.
change, contact your
The
governor.
Democrats didn't because they cheated like dogs.
And America
I
ain't
believe
known
in
for
the
their
sanctity.
consumer
This was too
protection.
big to
Neither
rig.
is
This
China.
last election was just too big to rig.
Yeah, we're talking about like either these or the
Really the
EU.
opposite.
When do you plan to speak
Yeah,
with
it's a
President-
lose-lose, you know, it
Could be
doesn't
very
matter.
soon.
And you talked a bit about Ukraine and Russia.
I personally,
How long do you
my
think it
hot
will
take
take to end that
is
conflict?
no one under 18 should be able
I
to
have
use
to speak
social
to
media.
President Putin. We're going to have to find out. He
That's my
can't be
opinion.
thrilled. He's not doing so
100%.
well. I mean, he's grinding it out,
You
but
know.
most people thought that war
Maybe
would have been over in about
16,
1 week.
But you can't
now
direct
you're into
message
3 years,
anyone,
right?
no matter what
So he can't
circumstances.
be thrilled. It's not
That still would
making
be a
him look
pain.
very good.
No, just no one
Now,
under
eventually,
18.
you know, I mean, it's a big machine.
No one under
so
18 social media.
Things will happen.
It's a lose-lose.
but,
It is.
I think it'd be very well off to end
No matter
the war.
how we approach it, we're going to
We
lose.
have numbers that almost 1 million Russian soldiers have been killed.
Like, let's say we do
About
know social
700,000
media under 18.
Ukrainian
How are they going to
soldiers are
confirm
killed.
that? We're going to have to enter like a
Russians bigger, they have more
Korean-based system
soldiers
where
to
our
lose.
IDs are scanned and then
But
internet
that's no way to run a
anonymity
country.
goes away.
What did your TikTok order do, Mr. President?
So much to, you know,
Just
cut
gave me
off.
the right to sell it or close it. Essentially, with TikTok, I have the right to either sell it or close it.
Yep.
And we'll make that.
They already
determination.
suspect your
And
age.
we may have to get an approval from China too. I'm not sure.
They do, but they don't care.
But I'm
That's
sure
the
they'll
thing.
approve it. And if they don't approve it, it would be
Ain't nobody
somewhat of a
type the
hostile
real
act,
age in YouTube.
But it's good for China if it gets approved.
Well, yeah. That's also one of the things in like Pornhub. Like, let's be real.
No, but it,
Like,
it
why
could
are
very
some of the
well
most
be.
searched things in
It makes
Pornhub
sense
like
for it to be.
Fortnite characters,
Because it's
Overwatch
got
characters,
tremendous
and
value.
Pokemon, Sonic the
But if
Hedgehog?
we create the value by approving, you know, in other words, that approval gives it tremendous value.
Like, who do you think's
If that's the
accessing
case,
this
then we
stuff?
should be entitled to 50% as
You
a
know.
country.
No,
You
they
haven't
know.
heard that one before, right? That's
They
called a
know.
joint venture.
These companies know. They all
And
know.
nobody ever thought that way before.
Banned?
I think you have a lot of people.
Technically
that would be
not, 'cause
interested in
Pornhub is
TikTok
banned
with
in
the United
Florida,
States
right?
as a partner.
I know the expert, not even, because
Walking into the Oval Office.
once age verification
what a
was
great
required, Pornhub pulls out.
One of the better feelings I've ever had.
Yes, I'm sad.
It's
See?
not better now
That's
than
what I'm saying.
2017.
They pulled out of Texas.
Well,
They
we're
pulled
very
out of
experienced
Florida.
now.
I don't, New
You
York
would say
Tracker, not
nobody's
New York
ever
Tracker.
had
I can spell
experience like
mention
I have.
a couple other
I've
states
dealt
they were
with
also pulling
some
out of or
very
have
good
pulled
people.
out
I've
of, but I
dealt
don't
with
know
some
them by
very bad
name.
people, and I know who the bad ones are and the good ones are.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I was very successful in primarily the real estate business. And people used to say, who's worse, a politician or a vicious real estate developer? And I'd always say, you know, the real estate developer is far worse. But after about 3 months and getting to know scum like Adam Schiff,
That's where
and
he
other
met my
people like
dad.
that, I said, no, actually, real estate people are quite nice by comparison.
He's like,
Plan to speak with President Putin soon. What
as
about
in,
President Zelensky and-
creators
Yeah,
need
I
age
know.
verification?
He's told me he wants to make a deal.
No.
I mean, he
Texas,
wants
the
to make,
site,
Zelensky wants to make a deal.
by the states,
I don't know if
Texas
Putin
and
does.
Florida
Why
have
not?
passed that you need to increase
should
age
make a deal.
verification or something
I
like
think
that.
he's destroying Russia.
We are nice, unless
not
you ain't
making a
paying
deal.
rent.
I think Russia's going to be in big trouble. You take a look at their economy, you take a look at the inflation in Russia. So I would hope, I got along with him great, and
That's crazy.
you know, I would hope he wants to make a deal.
Mr. President, are you keeping U.S. sanctions on Russia until he makes a deal?
Well, sanctions or tariffs. I think the word tariff is much better because it keeps your dollar stronger. I think tariffs are more effective. I mean, I use sanctions on Iran. Iran was broke.
Yeah, Russia ain't doing
When I
too
left
well.
office,
I
Iran
think
was
the
broke.
interest
They had
rate
no
is
money for
22%.
Hamas or Hezbollah.
That's
None. They were
That's
flat
about what
broke.
ours is, isn't it?
And October 7th would have never happened.
No, ours is way lower.
And I think you
I
all
haven't
know
kept
that.
up with the
It would have
current
never happened.
adjustment.
They had no
I know
money.
the last adjustment was
Now they're rich, but
decreasing a
they're weakened
quarter.
in a different way. I would say that.
And I know there's
the one
two
attack by
scheduled
set them back.
adjustments this year.
Really set them back. The Pagers. The Pagers.
There
and
was
others.
5
You know, the
scheduled, but
attack
they
on
knocked
air
it down to
defense
2
was that
for
was a bad
interest.
attack for.
There's only going to be 2 adjustments for 2025.
It's an executive order relating to reforms to the federal
We're at around
workforce,
4.5.
including to the senior executive
And
service.
Russia's planning on increasing it.
We're getting rid of all of the cancer.
Holy
I call
moly!
it cancer. The cancer caused by the Biden
Jesus,
administration.
fuck! Yeah, he's right.
Are you, Mr. President, that you
Russia
can
ain't
keep
doing
the
too hot.
ceasefire in Gaza and conclude the 3 phases of this deal?
I'm not confident. That's not our war, it's their war, but
Apologize.
I'm not confident. But I think they're very weakened on the other side.
Do you support the 2 states?
Gaza, boy, I looked at a picture of Gaza. Gaza is like a massive demolition site. That place is, it's really,
He says, "Now I love that.
Gotta be
I'm
rebuilt
sorry.
in a different
Ultra
way."
based is not my war. I don't give a shit.
my mind.
I don't give a fuck.
You know, Gaza's interesting. It's a phenomenal location.
Wars
On
are
the sea,
expensive. They're insanely expensive, dude.
Best weather. You know, everything's good. It's
Things that blow up are so
some
expensive.
beautiful things could be done with it, but
They
it's
are.
quite interesting. But some fantastic things could be done with
Especially
Gaza.
also food as well.
What is the future in governance
Food is pretty
for Gaza?
expensive.
Well, it depends. I can't imagine.
He's like, not my
you
problem.
certainly can't have
True.
the people that were there. Most of them are dead, by the way, right? Most of them are dead. But they didn't exactly run it well. Run viciously and badly. So you can't have that.
He said most of them are dead. He said, I think you try to run their shit. Yeah. Bro's getting tired. His baseness is coming out.
No, if China didn't approve it, we could put tariffs on China. Don't forget, China charges us tariffs, and we charge them
They do.
very little, except for what I did. I put a lot of, we took in hundreds of billions of dollars. But until I came along, China never paid 10 cents to this country. They ripped us off.
Because they were scared because we're borrowing money from them.
But like, if we wanted to make a deal with TikTok and it was a good deal, and China wouldn't approve it, then I think ultimately they'd approve it because we'd put tariffs on China. Maybe. I'm not saying I would, but you certainly could do that. And if we said, well, if you're not going to approve it, then that's a certain hostility, and we'll put tariffs of 25, 30, 40, 50%, even 100%. And if we did that, I think they'd approve it.
President Trump, you've seen the other living presidents a couple times in the last few months. If you ever had to call on one of them for advice about anything that's going on here, which one would you call?
It's an interesting. Well, I thought Bill Clinton was a very good politician.
Oh shit,
I don't
Billy.
think he was used properly. I think
Billy
they
boy.
disrespected him. When Hillary was running, he came back and he said, you know, you better get up to Michigan and Wisconsin. You remember that, Peter? Every house has a Trump sign on it. And they all laughed at him because the Republicans hadn't won Michigan or Wisconsin for decades, long time.
Bill Clinton told them
And
to
they all
go
laughed
up.
at Bill Clinton. Like, the hell does he know? And he turned out to be right because I won both of them. And then we just won both in this election, too. We won Wisconsin and Michigan and every other swing state. We won all the swing states, all 7. They talked about 7 swing states. We won them all. So, but Bill Clinton he had a great
Until it becomes his
political
problem.
sense, I think.
Well, I mean, it
Like
won't
you were having a
really.
good conversation with President Obama at President
I
Carter.
Unless it
was.
becomes like a nuclear war.
And you'd like to know what it was? Oh. Everybody wants to know. I know, I wouldn't want to, but we were having some crazy conversation.
About?
Why do you ask a question like that? I don't think you want to know. You might not. You might be insulted.
It's an executive order relating to holding former government officials accountable for unlawful disclosure of sensitive information.
We only get involved for
declaration
news.
of a national energy
Pretty much.
emergency.
Yeah, once it gets spicy.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
You know what that allows you to do? That means you can do whatever you have to do to get out of that problem. And we do have that kind of an emergency.
President Trump.
Yeah, but we're going to drill in America.
Will you use your powers of the presidency to tell Americans who are concerned about drones?
Yeah.
A few weeks ago,
Yeah.
Oh, the drones.
Can you tell us now?
In fact, I'd like to know because I just got here.
What do you think?
I just came here. I've been here for what, 15 minutes now.
Do people listening, because this is going out live.
And I got to read this letter too. Because of you, I found this letter.
I can read it for you.
He said I could read it for you. I'm sure he could.
Your father would too.
But is it anything these drones? Is it anything that people need to be worried about?
No, I think it's terrible. I would like to find out what it is and tell the people.
And can you commit to some kind of...
In fact, I'd like to do that. Could we find out what that was, Susie? Okay? Yeah, why don't we find out immediately? I mean, I can't imagine it's an enemy or there would have been, people would have gotten blown up all over. Maybe they were testing things. I don't know why they wouldn't have said what it was. They had a lot of them flying over Bedminster, which is interesting, right?
And with the events today and yesterday, was everything moved inside just for cold weather, or was there some kind of a security concern?
No security. Because they had everything shut down to drones. You can shut that down pretty easily if you're sophisticated. They're very sophisticated, these people. No, it was just cold weather. And we made a good move because, first of all, I thought it was incredible in the Capitol today. You know why I liked it? Because I got great reviews on that speech. I got great reviews. Can you believe it?
It was the best speech anyone had
Maybe the
ever
fake news
given.
is changing.
Oh my God, bro.
Unleashing energy production.
I can't.
But I thought it was, I think having it in the Capitol is great. It's obviously, you can take care of the people you have to take care of. The city was booming. And if we would have done it outside, people would have been hurt because it was really cold. It was looked sunny. But when you stood outside for 10 minutes, people were running back in. It was really cold and really windy. The wind brings it down a lot. So we made the right decision. You couldn't have stayed. I don't think you could have had it out. You know how cold it was today. It was, people went out for a little while just to test it. They couldn't stay out more than 10 minutes. They all came back in. So we would have had a disaster if we did that. And people would have been hurt.
The unlawful disclosure deal, is that related to the Hunter Biden situation?
Which one?
The one on unlawful disclosures by federal officials, is that related to
No, I think it's just more general than that. It's not Hunter Biden.
Is he going to say it?
I was surprised that President Biden would go and pardon his whole family because that makes him look very guilty. I could have pardoned my family. I could have pardoned myself, my family. And I said, if I do that, it's going to make me look very guilty. I don't think I'd be sitting here, frankly. If I did that, I don't think I'd be sitting here right now because I would have shown that you're guilty. But by pardoning his brother or brothers, by pardoning all of those people that he pardoned, by pardoning J6, the Unselect Committee, they destroyed all of the documents. They deleted all of the information. There's no information. And a lot of the information pertains to Nancy Pelosi because she was given 100, I mean, you know this, it's on tape with her daughter. Nancy Pelosi was responsible for not taking advantage of 10,000 soldiers or 1,000. You wouldn't have you could have used 400. It was a relatively small crowd. It wasn't the crowd that was at the mall. It was a small crowd. So I was a little bit surprised that he did it because it makes him look guilty. I mean, he's going to have to live with that. Now, with that being said, it's unbelievable precedent it creates for a president. But the precedent is
the precedent for a president.
Now maybe every president that leaves office, they're going to pardon every person they ever met. so they don't have some lunatic like deranged Jack Smith, who's a total lunatic, by the way. Not a smart guy either, he's a dummy. But we beat the hell out of him. And I helped my reputation.
I love how he throws shade at him.
Same thing at the end of this term?
Well, I guess now I have precedent to do it. I wouldn't want to do that. No, I think it makes you look very guilty. I think it makes Biden look very bad, very weak, and very guilty. And I mean, he pardoned everybody. How about this J6 committee? Why is he pardoning them? The reason is because if you delete and destroy documentation, everything, they have nothing because they were guilty as hell. They rigged it. It was a rigged deal. And when you do that, they look very bad, but...
It's rigged.
I was a little surprised he did it. Liz Cheney, I mean, she's a lunatic. And she lost by the greatest margin in the history of a politician running for Congress, like 40 points. The reason it was the greatest is because anybody losing that badly is going to drop out. But she's a nut job. She doesn't drop out. You know, she just keeps chugging forward. And she lost by almost 40 points. That's the biggest number anybody's ever lost by. But why would Biden do that? He pardoned her and pardoned everybody. The reason is that they destroyed documents. And if you're even in a civil case, which this wouldn't be, I mean, people go to jail for a long time for doing that.
Damn.
What's this one?
That's unleashing American energy, sir. It relates to easing permitting processes and other regulatory systems to ensure that we can produce energy efficiently to drive the American economy forward.
President Trump, looking around the office, we noticed some changes from the way the Biden had it set up. Can you confirm that you have added back the Diet Coke plan?
I think this, first of all, I just got here. So my people came in. They have extraordinary decorator sense, right? Let me just see some of the pictures. That's a good one. I could live with him. I could live with George Washington, I can tell you. I could live with Thomas Jefferson. I could live with most of them. They took a very safe route. They don't have any bad ones up there.
Withdrawing from
What is this one?
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir.
Ooh, that's a big one. So we paid $500 million to World Health when I was here, and I terminated it. China, with 1.4 billion people, we have 350 to pay. We have, nobody knows what we have because so many people came in illegally, but let's say we have 325. They had 1.4 billion. They were paying 39 million, we were paying 500 million.
Wow.
It seemed a little unfair to me. So that wasn't the reason, but I dropped out. They offered me to come back for 39 million. In theory, it should be less than that, but, you know. And when Biden came back, they came back for 500 million. He knew that you could have come back for 39 million. They wanted us back so badly, so we'll see what happens.
Mr. President,
Pretty sad to think of it. China pays 39 million and we pay 500 million. And China's a bigger country.
Mr. President, you spoke about inflation today in your remarks.
Wow.
What actions are you taking today that will have a direct impact for Americans on their everyday costs to bring the costs down?
Nothing.
The biggest thing and factor for
You passed the
inflation
act, though.
is energy. They screwed up my energy policy, and then they went back to it. You know, they heard it really badly, and then they went back to it, and they started drilling more, but by that time it was too late. Many of these things that we're signing and that Doug Burgum is going to be signing, and Chris Wright, who's phenomenal at, you know, Energy, Department of Energy. We're going to be taking a lot. We're going to make a lot of money from energy. We have more than anybody else. We're going to make a lot of money from energy. We're going to make a lot of money from tariffs. You know, European Union charges us. They have a VAT tax of 20%,
the VAT.
but it's really much higher than that. And that's the equivalent, almost the equivalent of a tariff. And
on anything that goes
They're very
overseas
tough.
over there.
They don't take our cars. They don't take our farm product. They don't take almost anything. And yet we take their cars and we take their farm product. We take a lot from them. So, you know, we have like a $300 billion deficit with the European Union. So
Damn.
we'll straighten that out with either tariffs or they have to buy our oil. The one thing they can do, our oil and gas, the one thing they can do to catch up quickly, buy our oil and gas.
Yeah, oh, they want that.
And they should do that.
Will you travel to China this year?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I've had the invite.
President, she's invited
I would do
you
it,
to
yeah.
come this
I
year.
would do it.
Talking about the European Union and the tariffs, like, what do you mean when you say that European Union country like Spain is part of BRICS?
That are what?
BRICS. You said
Oh, BRICS. No, I was talking about BRICS. BRICS is 6 nations. I think it's 7 nations. And they were looking to do a number in the United States. And if they do that, they won't be happy about what's going to happen to them.
Ooh.
Are you still considering a universal tariff, Mr. President, on all countries?
I may, yeah, but we're not ready for that yet. We may wrap it,
Mr. President.
because essentially all countries take advantage of the U.S. We don't make any good deals in the U.S. It's amazing in a way that we exist. We don't make good deals. We don't have any good deals. We have a deficit with almost, not all, there are a couple, I won't tell you their names because I don't want them to find out about it because they'll feel stupid. But there are a couple of countries that actually don't make money with us. But I don't want to let you know because they'll immediately change that. But we're gonna do. I tell you what, our country has an amazing economic future. I really believe that.
What kind of universal tariff if you did do one?
Well, you'd put a universal tariff on anybody doing business in the United States because they're coming in and they're stealing our wealth, they're stealing our jobs, they're stealing our companies, they're hurting our companies. So you put a tariff on to keep them from doing that.
Mr. President, you surrounded yourself with a whole bunch of billionaires today. President Biden, as in his farewell address, warned about an oligarchy. I was wondering if you could respond to that.
Well, he had a lot of guys, and then they found out that he didn't know what the hell he was talking about, and I think they deserted him.
They did.
They deserted him. Those same guys.
They left him high and dry.
Look, I don't make pretenses, smart guys, but there are a lot of smart people around. But they did desert him. They were all with him, every one of them. Now they're all with me. I don't know. It's not going to get anything from me. I don't need money. But I do want the nation to do well, and they're smart people, and they have, they create a lot of jobs.
That's cool.
And if they don't do it, China's going to do it. What they've done is they've taken industries and they've taken it away. They outsmarted China. And, we sort of like that. It's okay. They've done a great job. A lot of them. Not all of them.
Protecting women from radical gender ideologies.
Ooh. What?
Going back to the World Health Organization, you were the president during COVID. Don't you see the importance of
I have a stupid song stuck in my head. Hello, Athena. How are you?
But not when you're being ripped off like we are by the World Health. World Health ripped us off.
Hey, yo, that sounded
Everybody
sus.
rips off the United States.
Huh?
That's it. It's not going to happen anymore.
Sus?
Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, guys, let's go.
One last thing. This is your Martin
Thank you,
Luther King
guys.
proclamation.
Thank you, President. Thank you, sir. Thank you, President.
Stop women from learning ideology.
Let's go. Thanks,
Practice women from protecting.
This is Martin. Let's go, guys.
Let's go back.
Sure.
Importance of the World Health Organization.
Radical gender ideologies.
Radical gender
Protecting
ideologies.
women from radical gender ideologies.
Which means having transitioned male in their sports and their bathrooms like that.
Mr. President, going back to the World Health
Yeah,
was President Donald Trump as he is signing different executive actions, a lot of them there. I'm trying to check because it looks like the feed might have some more audio. Let me bring that back up. Oh, they're being escorted out of the room. Time now, 8:29 on the East Coast and 5:29 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Freslow. I'm here for the next couple hours to bring you all of your top stories and live events across the country and across the world. Big one, of course, we are covering Inauguration Day for
radical
President
gender
Trump
ideology just means gender ideology that I don't
like.
like.
Pop up this
That's exactly what it meant with the last
stage is being set for the Liberty
presidency.
Ball. That is one of the inaugural balls that will be getting underway in a matter of
they were
moments.
protecting protected groups from radical gender ideologies, which means that they were allowed empowering
for you
trans
right
people
here
and all
on your
sorts of
screen
men's and
to give you a
sports
look
and women's
at who
sports
to
because
expect.
that's what they
Again,
like.
A lot of folks are going to be
Yeah,
there.
no,
We know
but
that Jason
the thing you
Aldean
should
will
keep
perform
on
at the Liberty
is
Ball, as well
the
as
wavelength
Nelly
or the
and
same
the Village
vibe
people.
that the whole
Important to
country's
remember,
at.
there are two
And I
other
feel
balls,
like the whole
Commander in
country's
Chief
definitely
one
more on
and
this
the
vibe
Starlight Ball.
than the last
We're gonna
vibe.
talk much more about
Which
all
probably
this here,
means
but
anything
I wanna have a
outside
quick
to the
2-minute
traditional
commercial break.
Christian
On the
wham and
other side,
rolls.
we'll bring in Corella
Back to the
Hall. She's
kitchen
covering
era.
all of the inaugural